Tiara here with Gypsyfae Creations. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today is, a fandom soap. And if you are a fan of the Outlander series, whether you've read the books or you have seen the TV show on Stars, you will know what this soap is all about. It is a two-step process. I'm going to make the embeds that will go into the soap today. Come back tomorrow. Hopefully I can get it to look like what I want when I cut up that loaf and then put it inside the base of my soap. I have been a fan of Outlander for so many years. I've read the books. I've read up to the series 5 is where the TV show is, so I have read 5 of the books. I try to read the book and then watch the show and try to keep up that way. It has been a goal of mine to make an Outlander soap, but I could never really come up with a design of what I wanted to be in the soap. What I wanted to base it around, the characters or the smells or what. So there is a very important structure in Outlander called the Standing Stones, and that's where the whole journey begins. I will go into the story a little bit later, but that is what I'm going to be creating today, are these standing stones that just kicks the whole story off. Like Stonehenge, for instance, they're just Neolithic stone structures, and they can either be individual or in lines or in groups to form a circle. And so one of the biggest parts of this show is time travel and these standing stones. So I'm going to try to create these standing stones for this soap today. So after all that talking, I have poured in my lye solution, and I'm going to give this a nice mix and split this off into 2 different colors. So just to get a little bit of a swirl or design going on in this rock formation to look a little realistic, I'm going to do 2 different colors here. I have a pure silver mica that is from Brambleberry that I'm going to put into this big bucket with a little bit of titanium dioxide. And then into the little cup I'm going to put some platinum mica that is from Soapbox Micas. And we'll give that a little mix. We'll do an in the pot swirl, and then I'm just going to dump that into my soap mold till tomorrow. These colors are very similar. This one has a little bit more of a silver look to it, and I think this one has a little bit more of a gray look to it. So I'm hoping I can get a little bit of a distinction in there. So titanium dioxide, and we'll give that a mix. Okay, so I cut up that loaf of gray soap into 5 different long columns to be the embeds, and then I just hacked away and carved away at it, hoping to make what's going to look like the standing stones. And it was giving me vibes of that weirwood tree, that Game of Thrones tree embed that I did. Oh my god, I made such a mess. So I was really nervous about doing it. I'm still really nervous about how the soap is going to turn out. And I didn't record it because it took me forever and it was a huge mess. Hopefully I didn't butcher it too much. So it's time to get on with the rest of this design. I've just combined my lye solution into my oils. I soap at room temperature, and I want to create the landscape. So the books, or the series, Outlander starts out with the main character of Claire, and she's on her honeymoon in Scotland when she comes across the standing stones, and the location is called Cricknadoon. And that is what I want this soap to represent. So I'm going to whisk this together so that I can work in different steps. I'm going to split it off into the colors that I want, and we're going to assemble the soap and hope that it comes out that, you know, how I have imagined it in my head. So let's split this off into our colors. I'm going to start by pouring some of this off into this green. I'm going to create like the grassy knoll that these stones are sitting on. And this is some Celadon Green by Nurture Soaps. I'm going to give that a mix, and I'll tell you about the fragrance. I did this backwards. I put the shreds in the big bowl and the soap lather in a little cup. Before I put the fragrance in, I'm going to pour this green soap batter into these soap shreds. I have some green just to kind of give it like a grassy texture, and then there's some blue in there to represent some flowers. And I'm going to give that another blend with the stick blender. Make sure there's no really long, thick and chunky pieces of those shreds in there, and then we'll add the fragrance. So the fragrance I picked out is called English Ivy. It's not exactly Scottish ivy, but when I was trying to find a scent for this, I wanted something that would represent like the lush green hills and fields of Scotland, and it didn't exactly go way off topic since the main character Claire is English herself, and she actually gets a really interesting nickname from her significant other. I'm not trying to give too much away. That just means like outsider or Outlander because she is English in Scotland. So the notes in this are botanical accord of forest, fern, glen, green leaves, and cut stems with a soft floral bouquet and earthy base notes of musk. It is very fresh and green, and it reminds me of like grass and bouquets, and it's very countryside. Alright, let's pour this into our loaf molds. See if we can get these standing stones to stand in here. Sort of kind of space them out a little bit. I know it's going to be so much fun trying to get soap in between these, but I hope it is all worth it. And I don't want to push them all the way down, but if they do go all the way down, I'm not mad. Alright, that looks good. Next up, I'm going to pour off some into this bowl and color it with some cashmere blue for the sky. And this little cup is some titanium dioxide dispersed in water just to give some wispy clouds in there. Start by pouring in the blue, and then once I get towards the top, I will do an in the pot swirl with that white and do some wispy clouds. But this is playing very nicely, so I can get this very liquidy and in between all of those cracks. And this one. Fun part's over, the mess is made. It is time to decorate the top of this. So I have these soap dough flowers that I made to look like forget-me-nots. Again, not trying to give too much away, but the main character, Claire, she visits these stones and she sees these little blue flowers that she wants to return to collect the next day, and that is where she learns she can time travel through these stones. And she ends up in 1700s Scotland. And if you guys like sci-fi and romance and history, I tell you, these books have it all. I highly suggest to either read them or listen to them. They are really long books and there's a really big series. And then I also have these Mountain Pour rubies I'm going to place in the middle. Precious gems come up quite often in the books because, or in the movies, I say movies, in the show too, because it is a possible way to travel through the stones more easily. So I thought that made sense to put them on there. I just hate how big they are, but I couldn't help myself. I'm gonna do my best. So yeah, I highly recommend if you're looking for a good series to read, to get on it. It has been around for a few years. I'm thinking I might want to try and put these placed up. These are so going to get cut. I can't decide if I like them up or on their sides. Let's play around with this a little bit. Maybe one. I'm just so scared I am going to cut into these. I've been having this problem a lot lately, haven't I? Oh well. I'll do my best. But I do think I can line them up easier if they're facing up this way. So I'm gonna have to pick side over there. What else did I wanted to say about the show? Now that I have lost my train of thought here. Definitely one of those series where I can say the books are better than the show. I quite often find myself yelling at the TV like that didn't happen in the book, because the books are better. There's so much more detail and things that happen in the books than they do the show. I know Starz has all of the seasons. When this video comes out, it'll probably be wrapping up the final 5th season. Got a little more room there than I thought. And I think they've renewed for another season as well. But you can go and binge watch, I think, a few of the seasons on Netflix. And of course you can get all of them on Starz. I don't think I have ever used these big giant gemstones on a soap before, probably for this reason. I just knew they were going to be too big. But it's fine. I always seem to make it work out in the end. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of these little forget-me-not flowers on here. I will give this a spray with the rubbing alcohol. I'll give it a little glitter on top. I'll let it sit for 24 hours. I'll come back and cut it and cross my fingers that everything went well on the inside. Alright, I'm really nervous about cutting into the soap. You guys know it gave me a challenge, and so I'm really nervous about how it turned out. From here, the little sneak peek I'm getting on the side, it looks pretty cool, but I can't look. I just can't look, you guys. Please, 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 please turn out. Oh, let's see. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh, I love it. That's really neat. I think I did such a good job. It was so worth it. Oh, that's really awesome. I really nailed those rocks, I think. It's actually reminding me of, you guys seen that movie Brave, that Disney movie? There's another example of standing stones. Oh, that is so cool. I love it. Oh, that is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, it's so worth it. I don't think I will ever make it again, so this soap is definitely limited edition. Super cool. Wow. Wow, look at that one. Cool, cool, cool. I was thinking about time travel the other day, because not only is this series about time travel, Bradley and I watched a little romantic comedy on Netflix, and it was called About Time. It has Dom Hall Gleason, Rachel McAdams, Bill Nye, and it's really cute, but it also has time travel in it. If you guys haven't watched it, you totally should. We're watching a lot of movies while in quarantine. But it had me thinking afterwards. I was laying in bed, of course, and I was thinking about time travel. And if you had the ability to time travel, would you choose to travel to the past? You can only pick one, which means you could witness a lot of historic events, meet a lot of like historical people. You'd probably have to be careful about what you did so you didn't mess up your future. Or would you prefer to time travel into the future, which you could probably, I don't know, what is it, like predict what happens in the future? Probably make a killing off of that, like betting and whatnot. But you can only choose one, to the future or to the past. And I think I would go to the past because I just love history, and I would go back to like medieval times or even the 1700s in Scotland. It would be super cool. I love this soap. If you guys love this soap, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you've watched any of the Outlander series. I would love to make some other Outlander inspired soaps, but I need some ideas, so I'm all ears. Let me know what you think the next Outlander soap should look like. Throw me some ideas, please. Tone it down a little bit. I can't do this one again. And this soap will be available on May 22nd. So mark your calendars because I am never making this soap again. Maybe one day something similar, but oh my goodness, this gave me so much trouble. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel and you like soap making, you know what you should do. Subscribe. Any questions or comments? Leave them for me in the comment section down below. And until next time, I hope you guys have a very nice day. And I will smell you later.